What's up, everyone? This is Kronos, aka Adam, back with the Horror Show at Extreme Rules pay-per-view preview and predictions. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. So what I'm going to be doing is predicting and giving my thoughts on all the matches for tonight's pay-per-view. The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Stupid name, stupid catchphrase. They just love these things. So there are 7 matches. I'm going to give, as I always do, I'm going to give my shoot, my kayfabe, and my confidence points. So just a quick rundown. Shoot is who I think is actually going to win. Kayfabe is who I want to win. Sometimes, obviously, they're not always aligned because I know, based on storyline, a certain person's going to win, even though I would personally like to see someone else win. Anyway. And then there's confidence points. Essentially what there is there are 7 matches, so you assign each match a number from 1 to 7, 7 being the most confident, 1 being the least confident, and then as you get them right, you add them up, and that's your score. I'm not competing against anyone, but if you're welcome to let me know your thoughts and see how you compete up against my numbers. So we're just going to jump right into them. No particular order. It is interesting that there's no Sheamus Jeff Hardy match, even though that was teased for a bar fight. That's going to be on SmackDown this week, and also there was no Big Show Orton match. That's going to be on the unsanctioned match is going to be on Raw. I'm assuming it's because the ratings are in the tank right now, and they're trying to do whatever they can to boost up, ratings and hype them up. Because just having a pay-per-view hangover match is not going to pay-per-view hangover show is not going to be enough. So you got to try and jazz it up a little bit. So they say. Anyway, all right, so we're going to go for the U.S. title first. We got Apollo Crews versus MVP. Apollo's actually been off TV for several weeks. I don't know if that's COVID-related or not. Obviously, MVP introduced the new belt, which I do not like because I feel like just the word champion is the only thing you could see on it. It seems more like Lashley's going to be the one to go for this title. I think this is just kind of like he's just being a stopgap until Lashley and Apollo have a feud. I don't know if Cedric is going to join them or Ricochet because they've been involved with MVP and Lashley over the past couple weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I am pretty confident in this match. My shoe prediction is Apollo. I want Apollo to win, so he's my kayfabe prediction, and I have 6 points of confidence on this. I'm pretty sure they're not going to give MVP a title reign at this point. I mean, he, at first he was just brought in just to be kind of like a backstage producer. Now he's been on TV a lot. Now I know that's part of the reason because of COVID related and other things. But he's been great on TV, being in the spot that he's been in. And so, but I just don't think they should give him a title. I just think that would just be unnecessary. He doesn't need the title to do what he's doing. Next is the SmackDown Tag Team title match, which is going to be a tables match versus New Day and Cesaro Nakamura. Also, there's no Raw Tag Team titles or Intercontinental title match on the card. I don't know what they're doing here. So apparently there was some mystery poll that we didn't know about where it was split between a cage and tables, and it was too close to call, but I mean, unless it's even, it doesn't matter when it's too close to call. It's one wins over the other unless they're in a dead heat, and that's not what they said, so very weird here. It was always going to be a tables match anyway. I mean, for the last several weeks they've been utilizing tables. Cesaro tried to get a table in, didn't get it. Then 2 weeks ago powerbombed Kofi through Big E through a table, and then this past week they tried to New Day tried to put Cesaro through the table from Kofi jumping from the top rope, and they got away. So there was no and their explanation, even Cesaro, the way his explanation went, I don't want Kofi and Big E to be like stripping and dry humping the cage. It just made zero sense. So anyway, the tag team division has been quite shit as of late. There's not really any real contenders there, or at least they haven't been utilizing the matches. It looked like Lucha House Party was going to go. Obviously, we know what happened with Forgotten Sons. Morrison and Miz are now basically a comedy act, and they're doing 2-on-1 shit. I mean, it seems like New Day really haven't done much with this, so I think it is time to change. So predictions. Shoot, I actually believe Cesaro and Nakamura will win it. I want them to win, so that's my kayfabe prediction, because I do think a change in the title scene would do the division some good, and I have 4 points of confidence on that. Next is the eye for an eye match, Rey versus Seth. Now, I assume, as far as we know, it means that you have to remove the other person's eye, which is insane. There's been rumors that they're going to use CGI for this. I just think that's a big mistake. I think it's going to end up looking really bad. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, and then how, if they do pull it off, will that whoever loses an eye will be sticking around? I mean, they keep making it like Ray is blind, but as far as I understood, it was that his eye was better. I mean, he still had some issues with it. He was wearing the kind of like patch with the mask over it, but I was under the impression his eye was better. So, and then if they do that, like, are they just assume that they're going to take out the other eye? Like, why not? If it is messed up, then just take out the one that's messed up, and that way he still has one good eye. So, I don't know. Obviously, could there be a Dominic heel turn finally? I mean, I wouldn't want to see that, but it would be interesting. I just want to see him in a match. There's been a lot of rumors circulating around Ray's contract. Apparently, he's out of contract this now, and he's kind of more on a handshake deal with WWE. So, who knows what that means? Obviously, he's been around, I assume, to help Dominic in his career. So, we'll see. I actually think Seth is going to win this because of the fact that I think Ray is just going to go off for a little while. I don't know if he's going to leave the company or what, but I just think he's going to take some time off. I would love to see Ray win because Seth has just been kind of annoying at this point, and maybe he could do with some time off. Even though at the same time, it's like someone getting time off in this particular atmosphere, the way things are, sucks because you're already depleted as it is. But I really have no clue. This could go either way. So I only have 1 point of confidence on this one. We then get a non-universal title Wyatt Swamp match, Braun versus Bray. Braun actually had one of his best promos since I've been watching, since I've really gotten back into it over the last few years on SmackDown. I mean, even though this whole thing came at the cost of burying John Morrison, which kind of annoyed me, but it is what it is. I think they've really botched Bray, just the way that they had him so high up and he looked amazing, and now he's just, it's almost like you don't care really. You're hoping every time you see him, okay, what's going to be the next thing? Let's hope, and then we're left disappointed. I mean, now he's gone back to Eater of Worlds gimmick, and then there was going back to the swamp where he got bitten in the face or something. I don't know. I mean, obviously Braun has to fight the Fiend at some point. I hope the Fiend takes the title off him. So I'm assuming that Braun would win this match just because of that. So my shoe prediction is Braun. I would like to see Bray win because I'm just not a big fan of Braun these days, and I am a big fan of Bray, so I want him to win. But I'm pretty sure they're going to let Braun win this one. So win, against Firefly, Funhouse Bray, Eater of Worlds Bray. But then when he goes to the Fiend, he gets his ass kicked. But I'm not very confident. Middle of the road, only 3 points of confidence. We then get the WWE title match with a stipulation to be named by Dolph later, so it's a secret. We get Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Dolph hasn't won anything. I think he's won like one match in 2020 or something like that. So he doesn't deserve this match. It just shows how bad and depleted the roster is at this point, that you can only bring in Dolph Ziggler from SmackDown in order to challenge him. And the motivation behind it is, I deserve it, kind of like what Dolph has been doing all the time now, is just bitching and moaning and thinking he wants everything handed to him. My stipulation prediction would be something like a no finishers, no Claymore allowed. Maybe he says no future shot DDT either, because obviously, Drew loves to talk about the Claymore, do the Claymore, and since Dolph Ziggler's finisher, the zigzag, is one of the least protected finishers in all of wrestling, behind maybe the skull crushing finale. And then he also does the super kick, but either one. He barely wins with the super kick anyway. So something like that would take a huge bullet out of his holster, Drew's holster. So I think Dolph could be great. I actually really like Dolph. If he's given the right story, the right motivation, the right matches. But they just have him just whine and bitch and moan and wants things handed to him. So that's kind of where he is at this point in his career. Predictions, Drew for shoe, Drew for kayfabe. This is my most confident. I have 7 points of confidence on this. There's no way that Dolph is going to beat Drew. We get the Royal Women's title match, Asuka, the champion, versus Sasha Banks. I mean, Asuka has just been absolutely amazing since she's been on, since she's been around for a while now. Since they give her that, I guess since the heel turn almost. I mean, but really in the empty arena, she shined. Sasha's not even on Raw. No one really stood tall over against the other over the past 2 shows. But will this be the match that Bayley kind of interferes in to kind of start the ball rolling on their heat between them? Predictions: Asuka for shoot, Asuka for kayfabe. Pretty confident that Asuka's going to retain, so it's going to be 5 points of confidence on there. And finally, SmackDown Women's Title: Bayley versus Nikki. Based on this past SmackDown, I mean, Nikki said her confidence was shot. She can't beat Bayley, but then she attacked Bayley, so then she kind of stood tall there. I mean, Bayley's been amazing. She's been over 400 days, 430 to 440, something like that, as reign as champion. But she's been one of the best things on TV. That's why they've been having her, kind of float around. And then she also has the women's tag titles, which allows her to float around. But it seems like they want her and Sasha to have that eventual, blow up big match. Could it be SummerSlam every year? They say this could be the SummerSlam that Bayley and Sasha do it. I think maybe they can turn Nikki loose here if she does lose, but stays competitive. Turns her loose, have her more like sanity type Nikki, just go crazy on everybody, and then that way you can, if you want to break up Alexa and Nikki, you don't have to do the typical what everyone was assuming was just that Alexa's gonna turn on her eventually. So, prediction: shoot Bayley, kayfabe Nikki. I would love to see Nikki be the champ right now. I love Nikki. I've loved her since NXT, since I really watched her in NXT. Especially when during the Who attacked Aleister Black storyline, when she was the only one who knew. It was great. Text message. I don't know why I said text mess. But I only have 2 points of confidence on this, so because it could go either way. But I'm pretty sure that Bayley's going to retain. So there you have it. Those are my preview and predictions for tonight's The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Such a stupid name. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. As I've been saying, there are no post-credit scenes for my videos this week. Just too crazy going on, trying to figure out the right format for everything. So as always, be safe, love each other, stay cool also, and bye now.